Hey everyone, welcome to the Darksliders podcast with Doug and Brad.
I
So this week is kind of a weird week. We normally don't get this, but we've both been playing two games that we both love a whole lot.
yeah.
So I know we've both been going back and forth being excited to talk about these because Doug's been playing The Witness, which I have
hmm
never played and have little interest in playing.
You
And
probably
I've been
shouldn't.
and I've been playing Guitar Hero, which Doug has little interest in and has never played. So it should be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
think that, actually I was thinking about this like as we are like saying like the games that we really like. I always feel like we have pretty similar opinions sometimes on stuff, but like I like that this kind of shows that we do have like vastly different opinions on how we play games and stuff like that. Because like our whole like Rocket League fight, like where I don't like those kind of like arcadey games, and you really like those because you're gonna talk about how much you love Guitar Hero, and I just have no interest in playing that ever. And I'm gonna talk about The Witness, in which it's mostly quiet puzzle solving.
loud, obnoxious music and clicking
Mhm.
versus quiet, calm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am curious about The Witness though, because I
Mhm.
do. I Jonathan Blow did Braid, which was his
Yep.
other game, and I liked Braid, but I liked Braid a lot as I was reading guides on the internet.
Ugh. Did you really go
Yeah,
through Braid reading guides?
I like the last half.
It's bad.
Dude, I'm bad at puzzle games. It's not even close to being my strength.
Oh wait, do you not like Portal in those like those kind of games either?
Portal I can do. Portal I made. Portal 2 I think I used a guide on a couple spots, but yeah, no, I'm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't play this game. It's so I've been playing The Witness. I will say I'm about so I'm gonna say this is if we do put this up as a separate YouTube video, this is gonna be Witness impressions. First thing I do want to get out of the way, there was I think we talked about this. We must have talked about this last podcast. It was just a little bit that like everyone was like The Witness is gonna be $40. Like oof, I don't know if that game's worth $40. That game is a $40 game.
See,
It's
and that's what I've heard
huge.
too. Is with the size and the scale and just how everything plays and the way
Yeah,
it's set up, it's definitely worth that, which is cool. And I think a lot of people had Braid in their minds. I would be pretty disappointed if I paid $40 for Braid.
yeah. It's the thing that's really hard to talk about this game is like just talking about the game sounds very boring. Like
But
because one of the things I was
what?
worried about going to this game is like, oh crap, I hope it's not just these line puzzles. It is sort of. So I was trying to figure out a way to actually because I knew I was going to talk about the witness for this podcast, and I said this last time because we do the outlines. Of course, I know. Um,
You're so good at this today.
yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people, I remember reading comments before it came out that people were like, "Oh, I could just play this game on my cell phone. Like, what would be the point of it?" It's like, okay, the kind of way it's like, okay, let's say you're sitting in your living room playing a cell phone game where you just had to draw lines and do maze puzzles, like you saw in the trailers for The Witness. But the solution to the puzzle isn't even looking at your phone. It might be going around the room, like looking at like certain objects, and like that's the way to solve the puzzle. It kind of like the whole fact it's like these line puzzles that are set into the environment, and the environment is the way to solve them. So sometimes it is just like a simple line puzzle, like just draw from point A to point B. But sometimes like you'll notice kind of like a weird shape in the environment, like what is that? And then, like as you're doing the puzzle, you're sort of seeing these patterns between the environment and the puzzle that you're doing, and you realize like, oh wait, this is how I solve the puzzle because I'm learning looking at the environment and observing the environment.
I don't like this game.
Oh no, you won't. You won't. A lot of people won't.
I don't. I already don't like the sound of that. Like
No, it's
Portal is as abstract as I can get when it comes to puzzle solving games.
yeah, no, I don't think you would like this game. I think that actually this game kind of reminded me of we talked about this on the podcast a long time ago. Do you remember that one game Proteus? I'm going to say game loosely on this one.
Oh, is that the Vita game? That's
Yeah, yeah, you walk around like an island that's like kind of
oh yeah,
generated,
and you don't do anything.
and you don't do anything. It's that, but you do a lot of things. It's that sort of. If you haven't played Proteus, Proteus is a game where you just sort of walked around an island and you just sort of like absorb the environment. You kind of like found things and things like that. This game is basically you just walk around the environment. It's and you explore. Like I just love that aspect of it. It's just you kind of we talked about Xenoblade, how we like that sort of exploration aspect of Xenoblade, like because you really don't know what's coming next. It is really neat that you're kind of exploring this desolate island that's really gorgeous too. It has a really neat art style. It's kind of it looks really pretty, but also sort of low poly, kind of, but not really. It's kind of hard to describe. It kind of looks like a, I don't know. It kind of looks like a painting. which is not hyperbole. It really does look like a painting with like these kind of like sometimes be these like really simple shapes, but the lighting makes it look all like really really gorgeous. The puzzle solving in this is effing amazing. It is so good because every set of puzzles, like if you watch some trailers for it, you'll notice that the panels are different colors and different color panels have like different ways to solve them. And I don't want to spoil. I'm trying not to spoil anything with this game because it's really good to just go in blind. But every puzzle, just the solutions are so unique. And like when you walk up to a puzzle, it doesn't really tell you how to solve it. You sort of have to figure out how to solve it. Sometimes they'll kind of give you training puzzles. They'll give you like 5 puzzles right in a row. They're all kind of that kind of show you how that concept works. And sometimes like you just won't. Like you won't have that like nice like progression where it's just like here's the easy puzzle and now here's like a sort of harder puzzle and you can see how the logic flows. Sometimes you just come upon a puzzle and you have like no
Do
idea how to solve it.
do these all have different mechanics then, or is it all the same mechanic and you're just using that mechanic in different ways?
I mean, it is the same mechanic of drawing a line,
Okay.
but like I guess a quick example was there was a board I had, and I had to turn on different lights, and as I was turning on different lights, the board was showing me something slightly different.
But I
Um,
don't like this game.
no, you probably wouldn't like this game. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you like environmental puzzle games, like if you like Portal and you like you just you love that sort. I say if you like Fez, if you like Portal, if you like, I'm trying to think. There's not many environmental
See,
puzzle
but
games.
now I'm conflicted because I like Fez and I
I
like
didn't.
Portal.
So why is this game making you flinch then?
Because it's 40 hours of it. I think it's that like that time period doing it. Fez I never finished. I got like 3/4 of the way through Fez, and I think you get to
Yeah.
one point where it's like now you need 120 more or something ridiculous
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I think I got
And I
to a
hit that
similar
point and
part.
just went, nope, I did enough
Yeah.
of this. And Portal is great because it's about 6 hours, and I can go, okay, I can do 6 hours of this puzzle solving thing. But just the idea of 40 hours of line puzzles and the fact that they're going to get more challenging as you go, and
Yeah.
just basically to me it's I'm gonna play the game for 3 hours, get to the point where I go, God, I hate this, get a guide, use a guide for 10 hours and go, well,
Uh.
I'm basically just cheating through this anyway.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's kind of cool is that the difficulty it kind of resets every time you come upon like a new puzzle. Because you have to learn a new mechanic. So it's not like the game just like it starts out easy and then it gets progressively harder. It starts out easy, gets like to medium hard difficulty, and then you switch over to a new type of puzzle.
Oh,
So then it kind of restarts. So now it's like because it kind of needs to ease you into that new mechanic, ease you into that new mechanic.
huh.
So it's kind of cool. So sometimes like there were certain puzzle sequences that I had no problem with. Super easy, just kind of blew through them. There's other ones that I actually had to sit down, like start pulling out a pen and paper, which I love. I love pulling out pen and paper to figure out stuff. And
That's a line for me that I'm not going to cross.
what? Why is it so bad? What's so wrong with pulling out a pen and paper?
I don't that just if I'm I guess to me I should not be being frustrated by things. And I guess this kind of goes back to my point with Bloodborne. If I'm playing a game, I'm not playing a game to be frustrated. I'm playing a game to have fun, to enjoy it. I don't enjoy being frustrated. I enjoy being challenged,
Yeah.
but I don't enjoy being angry and frustrated because I just am not thinking about something the right way.
Well,
Like,
here's the thing too. Like I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing. Because it's open world, I've done that. I actually did this a few times. I got to a puzzle. I was like, I just don't want to solve this right now. You can just walk away and just go to another area
oh,
and start solving puzzles there. Like it is open world. Like you just go. So
so is
like
there any sense of progression, or is it just you wander and
no, I
like
mean
go
there's
through these
progression.
puzzles?
Like once you get to the end of a puzzle sequence, like there's a pretty clear thing that happens. Don't not spoiling. There's a pretty clear thing that's like you are now done with this sequence of puzzles. But
Okay,
there is one the one thing I don't like when it comes to these line puzzles is sometimes they'll just get more complex with the same mechanic, and I didn't like that. Where it's kind of like you start on like say a 6x6 grid, but like the final puzzle's a 10x10 grid. I didn't really like that, but I kind of come upon that and I was like, I just don't really want to solve this. I understand how this mechanic works, but I've been kind of working on the same mechanic for like 15, 20 minutes. I think I'm just going to go somewhere else for a while. And you just can just go somewhere else and you learn a whole new mechanic. Um, so it's pretty cool. So like you can basically think of like each new mechanic as like a new level, and you can go like all the way through the level if you want, or go halfway through the level and then go find another level that you want to go explore, and then go halfway or all the way through that.
see that's interesting because that alone right there sells it to me. Because in my mind, I can do the two easy puzzles in every like level.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, you can, but it's like there is something that's just like, ooh, I do want to solve it. But and if you do get frustrated, like I said, yeah, like you're saying, you can just walk away if you want to. I mean, if you just do the easy ones, like you'll learn the mechanic, but you're not going to complete that sequence. But you can, like I said, you can always come back
Come back later.
later. And sometimes they will throw puzzles at you that you will not know how to solve at that point in time. Like this is a really minor spoiler. Like as soon as you kind of get into the open area, there's a door with this really crazy grid on it that I had no idea what the hell to do. I was like, I'm not even going to touch this. I'll just come back later. And I did finally figure out how that mechanic worked, and I went back. I don't think I've gone back yet, but like I know how to do that mechanic now, so I can go back to that area if I want to.
Oh man, see, I'm I'm so on the fence with this because
And I know
I.
for you, $40 is not an on the fence game.
What do you mean?
Like, would you spend $40 on it? You don't know one way or the other.
Probably not, but it's one of those things where I'm just looking at it going, I feel like I would enjoy this for a set amount of time, but I'd have to buy it knowing that I'm never gonna finish this. I'm never gonna get anywhere near completing this game. And
Yeah.
that always makes me hesitate just because I don't like having something sitting there going like, oh yeah, hey, there's Xenoblade and I'm halfway through it. I will be halfway through it forever. Not Xenoblade. I'm gonna finish that game. I almost got
Yeah.
my Scal. I'm really excited.
All
That's all I'm
right.
gonna talk about
All
Xenoblade
right.
right now.
All right. All right. Yeah, I can understand that. It does feel like kind of an investment, although it doesn't feel like as big an investment as say something like The Witcher or like as the other games I can compare it to right now. Is I have The Witcher and Far Cry 4, and like those games I know I'm definitely never going to complete. But this one I feel like I think it's just because it constantly has you thinking in different ways that it keeps it fresh instead of just being that. Because I feel like with Far Cry, like okay, I kind of get what Far Cry is. It's going to be Far Cry for the next 30 hours. But for this one,
Yeah.
like I really don't know what's going to happen next. And I like that sort of, and that's the thing I like about Bloodborne too. When I talked about it. There's this constantly changing expectations for the game, and I really liked it. I think if you're really on the fence, if you think you might like this game, but the $40 is holding you back, just go get it. It's worth $40. It is a really big game. If you liked Mist, if you liked Mist, you should absolutely get this game. If you thought Mist was too hard, you should still get this game. It's not as complicated as Mist. Um, I don't know. It's
If you
just kind
never
of
played
cool.
Myst,
What?
if you never played Myst,
Oh, if you never played Myst, but you like Portal, if you like Portal, then you should get this game. If you like Fez, you should get this game. There's no narrative though. I mean, there is a narrative, but it's like super hidden. I haven't quite figured out what the hell's going on, but that's okay.
oh, so like no plot at all. It's just like go wander your island and solve your puzzles.
I mean, you don't even, yeah, kind of. I mean, there might be a plot. I'm sure there's a plot, and I'm just like not getting it quite yet because like there's a lot of like drawings and stuff around the island. It's like okay, I'm sure this is all adding up to something. So
Yeah, as you go through and finish it up.
yeah, yeah, it is kind of cool.
Mm.
Like there's, I last night I found sort of I looked at some like I was doing like a series of puzzles, and I was like looking around my environment trying to figure out something. I was like, wait, what is that over there? And I found like a secret puzzle, and a secret puzzle unlocked this whole other area. I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? Um, but yeah, it's just kind of a cool game that I feel like is one of the few games where you you are rewarded for trying to out clever it because that is the way to do it. Like you can't like if you're not thinking too hard about these puzzles, this is how you solve them.
Huh. Yeah. I don't know.
Mhm.
I really don't know.
So how's Guitar Hero?
Interesting. So Guitar Hero is amazing.
This is a game I will never play for sure. This is
Yeah.
weird.
So
Okay, this is weird. I just want to start out because you don't have Rock Band 4.
I don't have Rock Band 4.
And we talked forever on the podcast before about rock. You were like how excited you were for Rock Band 4. Can't wait
See,
for Rock Band
and
4.
I
Guitar
knew
Hero
this
looks
was the
so
first thing you were going to
dumb.
go to.
Yeah, so what happened? What happened, Brad?
All right, so we kept talking about Amplitude.
Yes.
And my issue with Amplitude was I didn't really care for the soundtrack. And every time I played that stupid game for all like 5 hours I put into that damn demo, I kept going, man, I miss Guitar Hero. Man, I miss Rock Band. I should get one of those. I should get one of those. And then last week, Best Buy had Guitar Hero on sale for $60, game and guitar.
That's
And I
pretty
was like,
crazy.
that's a pretty good deal. And I looked, and Rock Band's still like 110 or whatever for the same thing. I was like, well, I don't know. I want to get one of them. And so I went through and I looked at the song list, and I didn't really grasp how crazy, ridiculous Guitar Hero is in some of the song list and choices and stuff. And I looked at it, I was
Mhm.
like, if this actually has all this, and this actually works the way it sounds like it works, and the way it sounds like people are talking about this working. After I did a little bit of research, this is going to be crazy,
Yeah.
and it is. So anyway, Guitar Hero is pretty much two games. There's actually two games here, which is really weird sounding, but they have no interconnectedness at all,
Oh,
and
weird.
it's really weird. So you turn it on, you start it up. It doesn't even give you a menu. It just says there's a box that says Guitar Hero Live, Guitar Hero TV. No
Okay.
options, no anything. You have to pick one of the other two. I'll talk about Guitar Hero Live because that's the one that everybody kind of goes to with this because it's the name of the game.
Yeah.
It's not great. This is the full motion video one where they filmed concerts and you're in part of a band on stage and you watch the people react and you play like shit and the people boo you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which doesn't work as poorly as it sounds like it would. It's just kind of awkward because I've been to plenty of concerts
Yeah.
and I don't think I've ever just seen like the drummer like kind of drumming and like look over at the guitar player and go, "You're doing great," which happens all
Yeah,
the
that was one of the
time.
weird things I was thinking about this game. Like that sort of idea that like your bandmates are telling you you're doing bad or good. Like it's your. I assume like the normal expectation for going into a concert is you're gonna play the song correctly. So like when people are saying good job, you're playing it correctly. Like I feel like that just never happens.
Yeah, it's so weird because you'll be playing and like the keyboard will just like be sitting there playing keyboards, like shaking their head, smiling at you, and like yeah, and like give you a thumbs up in the middle of their song.
Uh,
It
that's
makes a
weird.
little more sense when you start playing poorly because then it's just like they'll keep playing and they'll just like give you some weird look,
Yeah.
which that I could see happening. Like you stumble out on stage drunk trying to play the guitar, your drummer's probably gonna look at you funny.
Like that, I would like that. I think would be cool. Like you're like that. That's what I was thinking. Is like, oh, you played well. Would only make sense that if you were drunk, and they're
Yeah.
like, thank God this guy's playing well.
That's actually almost what it seems like is they're like so impressed that you some way or another managed to do this in your current state.
Maybe that's the real story behind Guitar Hero Live. Like you're like a struggling like with addiction and stuff, and like you're going out there and your bandmate's like, maybe he's getting better.
He did it. He did. You only drank 12 beers and you didn't smoke quite as much before you got on stage today. We're so proud of you. Rehab's working well, but it's kind of cool just because the crowd makes sense because you can hear kind of a little bit more crowd vocals and like them singing along if you're playing well, and then you kind of
Mhm.
hear like a wah or boo like every now and then as you kind of start to suck a little bit more,
Yeah,
which that works, but it's just it feels awkward is kind of the easiest way to put that. But that whole game basically works like every Guitar Hero game in the past has. You just go in, you pick your set list. It's 3 songs. You play your 3 songs. You get your score. You go on to the next set of 3 songs. You play your 3 songs, and you go through the game like that.
yeah,
And that's literally all it is. And it's okay. The songs are okay. Not the greatest songs ever, but it's there. It's okay. I'm gonna be honest. I've probably put about 12 hours into this game, and I think I've spent about an hour and a half in that mode.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what don't you? Aren't there songs in there that you want to play? I remember like when they started releasing the list for Guitar Hero Live. Like we were like, oh man, that list looks like crap, sort of thing. So is the live version like is the music just not as good as the?
So it's not as good, yes, but the reason for that is Guitar Hero TV has about 300 songs right now,
Jeez.
which you can play all of them whenever you want.
Sort of.
No,
Don't just
pretty
say that.
okay. So the other thing, you go to Guitar Hero TV. So you click on this. The way it's set up is there's 2 channels, which basically work like MTV used to, where it's just all day long playing different music videos, and it has a TV schedule. So it's like from 2 to 2:30 is the greatest hits of 2010.
Yeah.
From 2:30 to 3 is current pop hits. From 3 to 4 is metal hour or whatever.
Okay.
And you can cycle to the 2 channels. So at any given time, there's 2 random songs that you can play for free, and they'll just go through and they'll keep cycling through, just like a music video station would.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool because you can kind of play between the two, and 9 times out of 10, there's a song that I like or I'm interested in between one of the two.
So I mean, do you like that mechanic? I mean, Rock Band just from like and Guitar Hero traditionally is just like I can pick exactly what song I want. Do you like the fact that you can't choose like you can't just go out there and say I want to play a song right now and you like aren't really sure what song is coming up?
I do. And part of what I always liked about Rock Band and what originally drew me to these music games is I like finding new music.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the cool thing about this is I can just go to the rock classics time. I know, okay, it's going to be all rock classics. So I can listen to it and go, oh, okay, I've never heard this song before. This is awesome. This is a really cool song. The best way to play this, and I found this, is to open up my Spotify account and just play a song and then drag it into playlists, because there's so many songs in here that I haven't heard, or there's a couple that have come up that I went, oh crap, I haven't heard that song in 10 years. Like, that's a
Oh,
great
okay,
song.
yeah.
Which was one of my initial draws to Guitar Hero and Rock Band to begin with.
Hmm.
But you can play on demand, and I again have put maybe 10 or so hours. I haven't got the trophy for 10 hours yet, so I got to be close.
Yeah.
Into this, and I have yet to run out of on demand plays.
Yeah, explain the on-demand thing to me because I think you sort of explained it to me before, but it's weird. It's like I think they described it before. It's kind of like it's like popping quarters into an arcade machine, and then you can earn quarters as well.
Kind of. It's so basically you start out, and you start out with, they give you 13, I think it was like 12 or 13 plays. It was a really random number to start out with, and you can just go through, and every song you play, it costs one play, and you start out with 13.
Yeah.
Every song you play, you earn coins, whether it's on demand or it's on the channels. You earn coins, and depending on how you do, it's pretty much anywhere from 0 to 200. 0 is like if you jump in a channel, because they're live, you'll jump in every now and then, and you'll click on a channel, and it'll go, oh, here's the last two notes of this song, and you play the last two notes, and it goes, okay, you earned 0 coins for playing two notes. Sorry.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
But if you play a song start to finish, you're guaranteed 100. And then you get bonus for how well you did. Like if you got certain streaks and stuff like that, you can earn up to about 200. I think the most I've got is like 190 something.
Okay, but this is not. These are not. These don't. But no, then you spend these to get the play coins, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So what's the actual translation of all this? So like,
so it ends up being what was it? It's about 600 coins a song.
okay,
Which means if you play 3 songs, you get a song.
if you play through 6 songs, you get a song, right?
Well, it depends on how well you do. Yeah, somewhere between 3 to 6. If you do
Okay.
really well, 3. If you do not so well, 6.
And you
But
get
again,
and you play like you've been playing these games. I assume like all on expert and stuff like that. So you get like bonuses and shit for that.
Actually, not no, because there's a new controller, which I'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
But again, I've been playing, and normally what I'll do is I'll just play a song on the channel. If there's not one I like, I'll go to on demand and pick one. I'll play that song. I look at the channels. If there's not one I like, I'll pick one.
Okay.
So going that route, I think I have something like 14 on demand plays still, and I ran out one time, and then I just spent some of my coins to get some more.
No. Okay. Okay.
But if you're going to just sit there and all you want to do is play on demand, then I could see you running into the case of, okay, I'm going to actually have to go into the microtransaction mode to pay for some of these songs.
Yeah.
But playing, because I play by myself, and then they have vocals in this, which my wife really likes doing. So,
Hmm.
and she doesn't want to do the stupid channel thing. She just wants to pick the song she wants to do. So, and we've sat down and done that for an hour.
Oh,
and
that's
haven't
cool.
haven't run into the fact of we ran out of plays or I ran out of coins to buy new ones.
Oh, I didn't know they did vocals in this one. So is it just
Yep.
guitar and vocals then?
Yeah, you can do 2 guitars and vocals. Vocals are scored and everything. It works just like it would in Rock Band. So the only piece that's really missing from Rock Band is the drums,
Okay.
which
Oh.
are
Wow,
fun,
weird.
but nobody wants to pay $200 for that anymore, I don't feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you didn't. Like, I know you're like the biggest Rock Band fan ever, and I know you kind of like you. I don't know. How do you feel about talk about the controller? That's. I was gonna ask you how you feel about guitar because I know you were a huge Rock Band fan for a long time, and you're like kind of. I think me and you both are kind of like, well, the new guitars were okay, like they did their job.
Yeah. The controller, it's different. So this is a 6-button versus 5-button. So
Yeah.
if you played old Guitar Hero or Rock Band, it's 5 buttons. Basically, you have one for each of your 4 fingers except your thumb. Then you have to slide your hand down to play the 5th one.
Okay. Yeah.
This one, it's 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top.
Yeah.
So you never slide your hand left or right, but you have to move your fingers up and down,
Okay.
which at first feels really clunky just because you've got to try and figure out all these different things, but it makes the game on expert incredibly difficult because now you can have 3 button chords, but it'll be 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, or
Oh
they
God.
have bar chords where you have to hold down both the top and the button at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a ton more going into playing this game than there is. So I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much 5-star most songs on advanced, which is the second highest, and then expert I can do halfway decent on. So
Okay.
it's definitely got a learning curve, but I think having the basics down from the previous game definitely is going to help, as opposed to just coming in completely fresh and you'd have to build up. But that's actually kind of nice because this is the first time in like 10 years that I've been able to sit down and play a Guitar Hero and Rock Band game and not just go, all right, expert, let's roll through this thing.
Yeah. So do you like that? You like that new learning curve? Are you glad that it wasn't the same thing?
I did. I didn't think I would at first, and that was my biggest hesitation to get it. Is I didn't necessarily want to relearn to play the game, but learning to relearn it made me kind of remember why I liked relearning it because, or I liked it originally because when it got to Rock Band 3, you just set it to expert and you incrementally increase your score a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I had to start on normal, play 5 songs on normal, play 5 songs on hard, start playing on advanced for a couple hours. Then, I mean, just the last couple hours, I've switched up to expert.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but I
I'll
mean,
never
and the
play
cool
that,
thing
but
is,
so I might play at your house, but
but the song. I mean, in the Guitar Hero TV, the song list is great. There's everything from right before we did this, me and my wife were playing a song by Pink.
uh-huh.
And then, but before she came down here, I was playing a song by Lamb of God and then Pantera. So, I
Oh,
mean,
that is kind of cool.
the song list is insanely varied. They also have some kind of cool things in there. They do live sets too, because all these things are music videos and you're just watching the music video as you're playing along to it. So there's actually a live set by Weezer where they have the actual live video from a concert with the live audio from that concert that you're
Oh,
playing along to,
weird.
which is really pretty cool.
Okay, well
So,
here, okay, I got a quick question then, because this is like a weird one, because I know with like Rock Band and stuff, they sort of mix it so if you don't play the guitar, the guitar doesn't play.
yep,
You know what I mean?
yep,
Does that still happen in
yep.
those in okay.
Uh, in the live versions, I'd assume so. I don't remember. I've only done a couple of those because
I'm
there's
just
a
too
Weezer.
good.
Well, there's okay. So there's a Weezer set, which I really like Weezer, and then there's a Fall Out Boy live set, and I'm not a big Fall Out Boy fan.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Because
there's an
you're not
Avenged
13.
Sevenfold one too that I did 1 or 2 songs from. But I don't know. It's kind of cool because they've got a lot of different things in here. The microtransaction stuff again, it's so easily avoidable, and you can play this game, and you can do. I've been able to do exactly what I want with it, and never touched it.
That's kind of cool. I'm glad that kind of worked out. I wonder if this, huh? I don't know if
But
that worked for other games though. Like now that I'm
no,
thinking about it.
because it makes me think of the way that Street Fighter kind of described its DLC, where you're earning stuff and you're getting costumes and things. But
Yeah. Like I feel like this. If this is how Street Fighter Five would work, like that sounds awesome. But
yeah,
I just don't
I
think
don't
it
know.
will.
But it's cool for the music thing because I probably put $400 or $500 into Rock Band all said and done when you count DLC songs and stuff like that. Whereas
Mhm.
this, I can play every single song that's ever released for this game for the $60 I paid for it. And I
Oh,
know
okay.
that I
Yeah.
don't have to invest any more money. It's kind of in my mind, it's the idea of like iTunes versus Spotify or Pandora. So Rock Band came out at a time when iTunes was just getting big. And it's like, oh, you can own any song ever. You just click the download button and it's there and you own it. And then Rock Band tried to mimic that with their music store. Whereas this is going, okay, Pandora and Spotify are kind of slowly taking over this idea of streaming music. Let's just let them stream whatever they want and you can pay for some premium stuff if you want to do it.
Ah, damn. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love
I
it.
know a lot of people really freaking out too for a long time about that. I'm kind of glad that all worked out.
No, it worked out so well. I'm beyond impressed at how well it worked out. And the channels seem a little weird at first just because you it's a lot of pop in and pop out. You just I mean, you flip up on the control stick and it takes you to the next channel. So there's two of them, so you just go back and forth, but you pop into the middle of a song, which is a little weird to get used to at first, but
Yeah. Damn. That's still pretty cool though.
yeah, it's awesome. If you have any interest in music games, Guitar Hero Live, it's fantastic and it's great and I love it.
Oh, that feels so weird because I feel like there's no way in hell we would have thought you would have been saying that.
No,
Like,
like if you go back to probably what 10, 15 episodes ago when these games were coming out, it's like, man, I want Rock Band 4. I don't understand what the hell this Guitar Hero Live thing is. That's dumb as shit. I think that's probably about a direct quote.
well, to be fair, I mean, I mean, I guess like conclusion wise, like you don't like the Guitar Hero Live part, and that's the part they talked about the most.
Yeah,
And the Guitar Hero TV was like this weird nebulous thing that nobody really understood, and even you explain it's still pretty weird.
yeah. It's definitely a dramatic shift from what these games have done in the past.
Hmm.
And again, Guitar Hero Live, it is the traditional Guitar Hero, and it works fine. It works just like traditional Guitar Hero. It's more Guitar Hero, and there's no real issue with that. And I'm sure if the TV thing wasn't so crazy, I mean, like I said, I put probably 10 hours into it, and there's still songs that come up. Like this morning, I played a Cold War Kids song that I didn't even realize was in the game.
Oh, that's pretty. Wow, shit, they have Cold War kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said,
Whoa.
the song is crazy. Like, uh, what's the one I keep playing? Oh, Catfish and the Bottlemen, who's a really getting bigger indie band, but
Yeah.
like they have songs from just these random bands that you would never imagine in one of these games in here. So it's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Shit.
Yep. The other game I played. We'll just talk about this for a second because I kind of realized I did this wrong.
This is weird to me. This actually makes me what you're about to say made me really want to play this game.
So, Vanishing of Ethan Carter was on sale last week to completely shift gears back to kind of more of a Witness style game. So in my mind, I picture these being very similar.
Yeah.
I bought The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, and I knew literally nothing about this game other than it's kind of you walk around, and in my mind, I was picturing like everybody goes to the Rapture, something along those games, kind of those walking simulator type things.
Yeah.
So I turned this game on, I loaded it up, I'm like, okay, well, I got an hour, I'll sit down and see where I get to. So I start walking. I'm walking through a forest, and then I see a train, and then I keep walking, and then I get to a bridge that's kind of like a dam, and I walk across the bridge. I'm like, okay, I wonder, like, am I supposed to be doing something? Like, I don't get what's going on here. So I keep walking, and there's, like, this abandoned house, and there's this abandoned school. And when I walked into the abandoned, I think it was, I don't remember if it was the house or, like, the other building.
Okay, watch
like,
for spoilers, by the way, because I do want to play this in case something actually, weird.
Again, okay. I will tell you, I know jack shit about this game. I walked in the building, and some people started talking, like, kind of like everybody goes to Lapshore. They're like, okay, there's something missing here. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that lasted for about 5 minutes. And then I walked out of here, and then I climbed the top of a hill, and then there was a church, and then I got to the bottom of the church, and then the bottom of the hill, and then I took a road around, and I ended up back in the town. And I went, that's weird. And then I stopped playing, because I didn't do anything for, like, the hour I did, except for hear some voices for about 5 minutes. So I got Guitar Hero Live. I played that for a while. I was like, okay, I should go back and try this. I don't know what I did wrong. So just to see if I, like, missed something huge, I pulled up a guide. I walked through the entirety of that game and did nothing I was supposed to. The first thing's like, when you get to the forest, find this. And I was like, oh, that's like right after I started. And then I was like, the next part, when you get to the train, do this.
Oh God, you're probably like those, like when they do like testing for groups, like QA testing, where they invite people in, and like everyone's just like, no, we made this so obvious. Why does he not see the thing?
Yeah. Like there was one part where I was like, oh, I can interact with this, and I clicked it, and then I started walking down the path. I was like, the other way seemed like the way I probably should be going. I should go that way instead.
Oh, God.
that was the third mission or level or scene that I was supposed to do.
Oh, God. That was hilarious.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. This game, it's really pretty, but you're supposed to find stuff, apparently.
Yeah, hopefully you'll actually like go back and play it so we can get some like real impressions instead of you didn't play it right at all.
No, but I saw the whole game. I saw every environment I think I'm supposed to.
Oh my God. Oh, that is hilarious. All right. Well, report back when you actually do.
I thought that was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I guess if we're doing quick updates, I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I put about 5 hours in that, and I don't think I'll be going back. That game is not perfect. That game is not the most perfect game that was ever made. That's all I'm going to say. The end.
Oh, damn.
It's just like other Castlevania games. It's just I don't like. I think I just don't like Castlevania games. I think that's all it is. I think that's all it's just come down to. It doesn't matter what Castlevania, even if it's got the Metroidvania stuff. It's like nope, just no. I find them very frustrating and annoying, and
that's really sad.
Yeah, this is that dumb thing where it's like, why don't you like Bloodborne if you like Castlevania, and why don't I like Castlevania if I like Bloodborne? It's the same damn game.
So sad.
Yep.
Well, in that sad, depressing news, let's get to more news.
I cannot like certain games, okay?
Not Castlevania. That's like saying you don't like Mario. Like that is
no,
like
it's not. Mario is for everyone. Mario is rated E for everyone.
Maybe not Mario. What's
Castlevania is like... T for only certain types of people.
That was a stretch.
I don't know. I don't like that series. All right.
Anyway.
You know what's going to happen? This is like The Witcher. I'm going to buy another Castlevania game. I know it in the future. I'm going to like, oh, that Castlevania game. Let's say I might as well try and play that. I'm not going to like it. I have all 3 Witcher games. I don't like Witcher at all.
Now you have 2 Castlevania games and you don't like either one of those.
Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway.
So Final Fantasy 15 had a whole bunch of information come out this weekend. They showed off some new gameplay of them infiltrating a base. They gave some new progress report updates. This game is looking crazy.
Yeah, I'm like so close. This is like, I'm so close to pre-ordering it, but in the back of my head is like, if they do this wrong, this game's going to suck. Like, I don't know what it is about this game. I feel so unsure about this game.
Like, what has you hesitant?
Because
what part of it are you nervous about?
Because I don't know. It kind of makes me feel like when I was like looking back and seeing Assassin's Creed for the first time, like Assassin's Creed was just mind blowing. It was doing all these crazy, crazy things. And when you should get your
Yeah.
hands on it, you're like, oh, it's this.
I
And
guess I could see that.
and
But
the combat's like super weird. Like they still have not really explained all that. Like I love action RPGs. Like I love that's like
yeah.
my favorite. It's my favorite type of game. Um, but I just don't understand how this combat works because they keep talking about how simple it is. And then when I see like all these crazy moves the guys are playing, I was like, okay, if the combat is simple, like what are they actually doing? Like it just seems like literally from what I could tell, like because you look in the bottom left hand corner of the screen when they're
Yeah.
doing the attacks and stuff, it kind of looks like they're just holding a button and then swapping out swords, which has me a little worried.
Yeah, but having played Lightning Returns a little bit over the past month, it looks very similar to that, where you're doing some complicated looking stuff and there's crazy stuff going on, and there is a lot of strategy involved. It's just they've simplified the way that you're inputting those things and they've simplified the way it's happening, but you still get that feel of this big battle, this really crazy stuff going on. And I think those are kind of connected. And I'm curious to see how, because I feel like Lightning Returns was the last full fledged Final Fantasy game, right? Outside
Oh,
of like
probably.
14.
I don't know. There's like a million like spin-offs and stuff like that. I'm sure
But
there's been.
if you're looking at giant, like the big releases, the major console releases, I feel
Uh,
like that was the last one.
I would say that and probably or Final Fantasy 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I feel like it's just that evolution of the really cool battle system from Lightning Returns
Yeah.
changing into this. So having played that, it makes me a little less hesitant because I know a couple months ago when I saw, it, I was like, this does not look like Final Fantasy. Like this just looks like another action RPG.
hmm
But seeing how that combat worked, I'm much less skeptical about this one.
But see, like this is more because when we talked about Final Fantasy 15 before, you were always like, why is this not more strategy, more turn based? And I'm always like, why is this not more action based? Why is this not more like Devil May Cry? So like when I see this stuff, it's like those that looks really cool, but I feel like playing it is like it's I don't know. I'm just worried about how it plays because everything about it just looks effing amazing. I don't know how you can look at that thing and say I don't know about I don't know how
Yeah.
you can't be like somewhere inside you be excited about that game.
Oh, I
Um,
completely agree.
yeah, holy crap! Actually, it was really funny. When I was looking at because they don't not only did they release that infiltrate the thing. I guess we didn't actually haven't talked about that video. What was your
That
impressions
video
of
is
just
crazy.
yeah
And I don't know. It does not look like anything they've showed off for this before. It looks very stealthy, very like the ghosting, like from one place to another, the kind of teleport mechanic or whatever. I don't feel like I've seen that before.
they've done the teleport, but not like I thought it was weird they could like stealth kill people, and they
Yeah,
called it like stealth kill or something like warp kill or something. I was like,
yeah.
whoa.
Warp kill.
It's kind of weird. Is this game rated M or something? It was like weird, like seeing. I mean, in Final Fantasy, you do kill things, but I think just with like the updated graphics and stuff, like, oh wow, you're like actually killing guys. They don't
Yeah.
just like wobble and then disappear, and then you do 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 do. No, it's like you stab that guy in the back.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah. Like yeah, like think about that battle with like it's like storming and then there's like these like mechs that are coming out and they're like shooting you. I just can't in my head can't imagine that ends with do 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 do. Like that wouldn't be appropriate for that. So I do like the tone. It felt very Metal Gear Solid for some
Yeah,
reason.
I think just because in my mind I go back to Metal Gear Solid 1 and it looks, that base looked very reminiscent of that, down to
Yeah.
the soldiers' uniforms, the mechs, all that stuff. It looked very Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, but it was cool. That it was like I just thought it was kind of neat. Like the mech itself was like it was huge. I feel like in Metal Gear Solid, like you don't really get to fight Metal Gears until like the final boss, but that just
Yeah.
looks like a normal thing. Like if that's a normal thing, like what the hell does a boss look like?
Well, and that's, we talked about this with Xenoblade, where
Yeah.
just the scale gets crazier and crazier as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like that same. I feel like they're gonna take that feeling I have with Xenoblade and move that over into like a Final Fantasy realm and do some Final Fantasy things with that I think will be really cool.
Yeah, it does feel like, especially in that other supplemental video where it's kind of like the progress report video. Some of the stuff in there looked very much like Xenoblade,
Yeah.
which had me pretty excited because I think there's like a really quick clip where they're fighting some sort of like deer giant thing that
Oh yeah,
looked
it looks just like something out of Xenoblade.
yeah, but it wasn't like oh they're ripping off Xenoblade. It's like oh my god they're ripping off Xenoblade. This is amazing. Like I was excited that they were like that. I'm glad that they were taking inspiration from that because that was such a cool idea. And I was thinking back to like some of the older videos. Like there were a lot of monsters that didn't attack you, and I'm really hoping they're going to keep with that because the world in this just looks amazing. Like it's cool. Like there's like we can say oh it looks like Metal Gear Solid, But like that's weird. Like it's like a thing that looks like Metal Gear Solid in a Final Fantasy game. Like what else
Yeah.
does this game have inside? Because the other thing we saw was like the start of like open plains thing from the Deskgate demo. So it's kind of like these weird melding of different things. I'm like really, really excited to see what this all looks like when it's done. I'm just really hesitant. I hope this game looks like the game I've had in my head like forever, and I'm just
Yep.
terrified that it's not going to be good.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where you have no reason to think that at this point. You're just being skeptical.
Yeah, okay, that's I mean, yeah, that's true. Well, I'm not well, I'm
Nothing.
skeptical
There's
because like
nothing
every
that's
Final Fantasy since like 10, well, 11, I guess, has made me like not I've never been like, "Ooh, a Final Fantasy's coming." I'm like, "Okay, Final Fantasy's coming." This is Final Fantasy versus 13 to me still. And I'm trying not to get like too excited because that latest one definitely looked a lot like Final Fantasy 13
Yeah.
versus 13. I was like, oh god dang it, they're pulling me back in again. So I'm very hesitant. I'm just hoping when this comes out, there's gonna be like great reviews for it. Because right now I'm just gonna get Dark Souls over this. I'm just
Boo.
figuring out if I'm trying to pre-order Dark Souls or Final Fantasy.
Don't don't do Dark Souls. You know what Dark Souls. See, that's the cool thing. You know what Dark Souls 3 is. It's the same
Yeah,
thing it's been for the last 5 years. This looks like something brand new.
yeah, it looks like something brand new that's heavily inspired by Xenoblade. It's just
Xenoblade and Metal Gear Solid at this point.
yeah,
Come on now.
no, I know that's what I'm saying. Like this game sounds too good to be true.
Oh yeah.
That's
Like there's
I
some
think that's what it is when it comes down to it.
there's something that you're holding something back. What's the bad part? Like
Yeah, like what is because it still doesn't look finished at all. Like I don't know why they keep saying 2016. Um, yeah. Speaking of which, if you want to like news wise,
oh yeah. So this is a great story. So I was looking through Destructoid this morning for news for this, and I was just flipping through like normal, and all I read on the headline on Destructoid said Final Fantasy 15 release date coming March 30. And all I read that is Final Fantasy 15 release date March 30, and was like, what the hell? Seriously, 2 months from now? That does not make any damn sense. And I got really, really excited to the point where I like, what? And then I was like, this can't be real. And then I read it, I was like, oh, you're having an event
then
March 30 to release the release date. Well,
yep.
I was pretty disappointed.
Well, it's even weirder. It's like by the Kind of Funny guys.
Is it really? I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
yeah. Like they're the guys who are going to be presenting this thing. So it's like, what? Like I don't know. This seems like weird, like Square Enix stuff. Like people don't have press announcements for
Release
not
dates.
for these things. They don't at least they don't advertise it to like everybody. Maybe it'd be like an event for just like journalists and stuff, which just this one probably will be, but they don't like tell everybody like, hello our gaming audience, we're gonna announce an announcement for an announcement. It's like
But this
okay.
game is so big that, I mean, this game is so big that it's one of those few things that would warrant it. It's kind of like Bethesda's E3 last year, where it's like we don't do E3, but this year we do
Oh, because it's
E3.
like Fallout 4. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's that big of a thing. I mean, this is the first really new Final Fantasy since 13, and that was what 2008, 2009.
Is it really that old? I have no idea.
I mean, it was mid-gen on the 360 and PS3, so it would have had to be
Yeah, I guess that's
eight or
true.
nine, I guess. But
How
yeah.
could you forget about Final Fantasy 14? I'm just kidding. Single player ones, I know what you mean.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So speaking of release dates, Mighty Number 9 is still not going to happen.
Good God.
This game will never. This is going to be Duke Nukem forever.
It's not. It's done. Actually, is the worst part.
Yeah, because it was delayed for what, online connectivity, if I remember, or something like
It's
that, or
still that.
matchmaking.
It's still that thing.
Yeah, which I don't understand why this game even needs that.
No, it was because it was a stretch goal. It was like one of those like weird Kickstarter stretch
Oh,
goals, like to get because it got like so much crazy. But it's like, oh, we're gonna put multiplayer in it.
and now you don't get to play the game because there's a multiplayer in
Yeah,
it.
no, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, oh God. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I I would love to like talk to somebody who is actually a big fan because I think from day one we don't really like Mega Man that much. We're like this looks dumb, and
I
it's
don't
just
think it
been
looks dumb. It's just not my thing.
well, yeah, but it's not something we were excited about. Like I'm really curious, like somebody who like gave a lot of money to this thing, like day one, like we're bringing back Mega Man and super hyped, and like well, I wonder how they're feeling. Probably not great. I
I
go,
mean, I do like the fact that they finally just said, we are done putting dates on this. We're hoping it'll be here spring. Like, that's you admitting,
what
like,
was the Duke Nukem like thing they said was like it's done when it's done or something? What the hell was that?
Oh, it's something along the lines of it'll be done when we feel like it gives players the experience they wanted or something. Yeah,
It
something like
was, I
that.
think it was something short, but yeah, I just remember it was like, yeah, okay. Just, oh man.
Yeah, but
And we got that Red Ash coming up too, that Mega Man Legends one. We'll see how that goes.
whatever happened with that? We talked a lot about that.
That Chinese company. Did you not hear about that? The Kickstarter was like failing, and then some Chinese like group came in, and then they bought up all the rights and stuff to it, and now they're gonna publish it.
Oh, nope, missed that.
Yeah. So we'll see. Well, yeah, I don't know when the hell anybody's gonna talk about that next. Probably not for a while. So.
Well, to sum up my feelings every other time we talked about that, I really don't care. So,
Well, actually, no. You should care now. You should care more about the Red Ash thing. I mean, you played Mega Man Legends. You saw it was kind of a cool game.
yeah, I played like an hour and it was kind of janky, and I said, nope,
Mm. Game's amazing.
you don't like Symphony of the Night. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game is officially official now. They put out the trailer officially now,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's all that happened is they just started saying everything you heard was true.
Oh, yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of missed what you said.
Thanks for paying attention. All right, so the game still looks cool. It's coming out this summer. Yeah,
It kind of looks exactly like I think everybody expected. Like, oh, it's that
yeah.
Transformers game, but now it's Teenage
But
Mutant
with
Ninja Turtles.
Yep. So nothing crazy there. I'm sure it'll be very similar to Transformers Devastation in every possible way.
I think the cool thing that I did hear that was confirmed that it is actually based. Not it's based. It's not necessarily based on, but it's heavily inspired by the comics, and they have a comic writer and a lot of the comic designers and stuff doing stuff for the game. So I think it is kind of cool. Like they are going to do the more adult Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not going to be like the '80s kids one, which I thought was kind of neat.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Going back to old school stuff again.
Yeah. Well, new school, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like
yeah.
new. It's like that new school. Old. Everything is now. Everything's like when you were a kid. And now we're gonna make it all adults, which I actually kind of like. Nostalgia. I love that nostalgia whoring stuff. Like I'm okay with that. It's like yeah, like a new like Power Rangers movie might be coming. I was like, well, I might go see
Yeah,
it.
I'd go see that. I'd be
Yeah.
all about that, I think, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about this one because I haven't talked to you about this at all, and you
No.
love Insomniac.
I do love Insomniac, but
But I was
Yeah.
hoping for that. So Song of the Deep is
Yeah.
Insomniac's new game coming this summer, I believe. A much smaller scale project, it looked like.
yep.
Yeah. What was the but about?
Well, okay. Insomniac actually releases a bunch of smaller games. I don't think a lot of people know this. If you actually go on Steam, Insomniac has released maybe like 3 or 4 other small games like this before. Uh, and then usually what it is, it's this kind of like a lot of companies will do game jams where they kind of get everybody in a room
Oh,
together.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
let's do this, and then they'll whatever. I think it's like whoever the winner of that is or something like they'll let them invest a little bit more time and make that into like a smaller game. So this kind of seems like one of those like game jam games. The thing is like this game looks a lot like other games I've seen before. I think there's a game called like
Yes.
Aquarius that was pretty similar to this. There's like underwater Metroidvania games have been done before. It's not like a new concept. So it kind of just looks like a normal indie game that doesn't look super exciting. And I don't know. I'm kind of like on it. I'm Insomniac, as much as like their big titles are like awesome. Like I really love I think Resistance 3 is probably one of the best first person shooters ever. Really love Ratchet and Clank. Sunset Overdrive has me excited, but they do kind of release a lot of other in between games that really aren't that good, like Fuse.
Oh, I forgot about Fuse.
Resistance 2, Resistance 1.
But-
I mean, they're kind of a mixed bag, and I so I'm not like super excited because when I saw this was like an underwater thing, I was like, oh, I'm excited. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. But it's just kind of one of those like kind of one-off games, and it's not as unique as those Ubisoft games. Those those Ubisoft small
Child of
games.
Light, Grow Home.
Yeah, like those, like even if they're small, like you recognize them as a small game, but like your first impression is like, whoa, this actually looks kind of neat. But this
Yeah.
one is just like, okay, I've seen this before like 100 other times. And then there's like a lot of weird stuff, like GameStop's publishing it,
Yeah.
which I think is okay. I mean, I guess that doesn't really bug me. It's just kind of weird.
No.
But it's just not a major publisher. I think is the long and short of it. And it looks like they're both kind of like, well, we'll see. We'll try this like small publisher deal thing. It just kind of seems more like an experiment than like a game with a lot of heart behind it.
I could see that. I don't know.
Yes.
For me, I thought the teaser for it was much more exciting than the actual trailer. Just the kind of the song playing and it goes underwater. It just says Insomniac Games and it says like trailer coming in 2 days. It's like, this is going to be really cool. What the hell is this? And then they showed it off and like, oh, well, I'll forget about that. by tomorrow.
Yeah. It just didn't have that like oomph. Like it just wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
So I
almost
don't. It could be
releasing it.
awesome. Like it could be an awesome game. Like we have no idea about it now. Like I'm kind of curious. I'm like a little bit curious about it, but like there's a million other $15 games that I have in my head right now to buy that won't be
Yeah.
this.
See, and I think that this is one of the rare cases where releasing the trailer before the trailer, I think, hurt it. Because all you had people doing was picturing Insomniac game underwater. What is this going to
Oh
be?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you put this up, and people are like, oh, that is nowhere near as cool as anybody had in their head.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and that's why I'm just kind of. It just seems like they're in between game. I'm really just curious what they're working on that's not Ratchet. Because I mean, after the new Ratchet comes out, because Ratchet is even like their B team group. It's the guys who did
Yeah.
so the guys who did Sunset Overdrive have been working on something, and I thought that's what this was. I thought this
Mm-hmm.
was that Sunset Overdrive team was working on blank. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be huge, and it just wasn't. And I was like, okay,
Aw,
yeah, bit bummed.
that's sad. Next item up here. So some DLC news. Killer Instinct, which neither of us have played, has the Arbiter coming to it
Hmm.
from Halo 2.
Or Halo. I don't know. It's not. I'm not sure if it's
Is
the
he in
Arbiter, or
Halo
just
5?
a thing. I don't know what those things are called.
They're called Elites, Doug.
Elites. It might just be an elite. I don't know if it's actually the Arbiter. It could be.
It's got it. They wouldn't just put a random one in here. Well, I guess they did that in Dead or Alive
That's
4,
exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, they definitely did
where you
that.
could play as the Spartan, not the Master Chief,
Chief.
but the Spartan. I get.
Yeah,
Oh God, they did do that, didn't they?
they
Yeah.
did.
Okay,
They
never
did
mind.
exactly that. Yeah, they did like a female Spartan, which is kind of cool. Like I'm not saying that's not kind of cool, but it's just like, oh, it's
I
just
did
not
just
Master Chief.
realize that, of course, they did a female Spartan for Dead or Alive. Like that
Yeah,
makes
yeah, that also felt kind of weird. Like I felt like if any other game had done it, it would have been kind of a neat thing. But it's like Dead or Alive is weird, especially with that whole what the hell? What that's coming up now? What's that weird thing? That game, that Extreme Volleyball
yeah,
4.
3, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, and everybody's going like crazy about that. It's just
it's a thing.
yeah. Yeah.
Other DLC. This one much more relevant. Star Wars Battlefront. They broke down their DLC plan for this, which is crazy detailed and weird, and I don't know why it's so ungodly detailed. So this
So
past week,
real quick, you're
what?
gonna have to break this down by like what's season pass and what's not season pass because that's what I was kind of
Yep.
confused about.
Yeah, so there's basically a chunk that's free for everybody, and they basically, I mean, like weapon tweaks and stuff like that is free for everybody. And basically, the free for everybody stuff sounds like the we should probably make this an actual game type stuff. Like,
Yeah.
this past month, January, just a couple days ago, they updated the fact that now you can make a private match. There are now challenges for everything, and they did some balance adjustments. And then they added one or two more maps in. That was free for everybody. Um, but yeah, so basically for the next 2 months, they just are adding one or two maps per month.
Hmm.
So in February, they're doing a new Hoth map that's just a survival, which is the offline component, and then a brand new multiplayer map on Hoth as well. March, they're doing a Tatooine map and an Endor map for free, and that's basically all the free stuff they announced. In addition to like balancing and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff,
so like the plants that are currently there, they're gonna give you new
they're
maps
just
for
going to kind of
those.
expand a little bit out.
Okay.
The season pass stuff, which I did not realize they had plans this far, goes from March 2016, the first one comes out. Early 2017 is the final expansion pack for the season pass,
Jeez.
which is like almost a year and a half after this game released,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
seems crazy to get that much support.
Although
But
although to be fair, neither of us played Battlefield. I think they've done this with Battlefield and like
really,
Call of
with
Duty and stuff like that. We just don't play those games, so we don't see
oh,
these.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So March they're doing Outer Rim, which is Sullust and more Tatooine, which are two maps that are already in there. So that doesn't sound too interesting. This summer is Bespin, which is Cloud City.
Hmm.
This
That's cool.
fall, this fall is the Death Star, which I'm curious to see how they do that with like the bigger maps, because there's
Yeah.
no real in and outside part of the Death Star. You probably just gonna be inside, I'm assuming.
Which yeah, I mean that's still sounds pretty cool.
Yep. And then the fourth one they haven't announced yet. It's untitled, is what they said in their release.
So I mean you're kind of a huge Star Wars nut. Are you now like thinking season pass like in your head?
Nope. Nope.
No. Why?
I just,
Like does that not excite you or something or
I
what?
mean, the DLC that excites me is story DLC where I'm continuing stuff. This is just like you can play the same thing, but now it looks slightly different. Like I'm just not that into competitive multiplayer to
Oh, okay.
care. I have my 6 maps. I can play my 6 maps still.
Yeah.
Great. That's all I want.
Oh, okay. I mean,
So,
do you still play this at all or no?
I haven't lately. I was up until a few weeks ago. I just kind of popped it in every now and then, but
Yeah.
yeah. The weird thing with this is, and this was kind of from somewhere else. I don't remember exactly where this came out, but it was EA's chief financial officer said, "Oh, it was during a like stockholder meeting or something." He said, "Quote." On Star Wars, the one thing we are adhering to, and I believe this is part of our agreement with Lucas and Disney, is you can't make a Star Wars game that violates the canon of Star Wars. So basically, so
What the fuck
basically
is
that
Battlefront then?
well, no, but that's the thing is why Battlefront is all sticking original trilogy and why they're all maps where bigger battles took place.
Oh, okay. So you can't have
Which
like a big battle on Naboo? No, Naboo had a
so
battle.
like I
I
think
don't
this
know.
was like in relation to having the new trilogy stuff integrated with it
Oh,
because
okay.
it wouldn't make sense for the Empire and the Rebels to be fighting on Starkiller Base, so we're not going to put a Starkiller Base map in.
Okay, I guess that sort of makes sense.
But it's just I don't know, it's weird because Disney's so weird with the canon stuff now, and if you followed expanded universe stuff, you could pretty much do whatever the hell you wanted and nobody really cared.
Yeah, but that's what I'm confused. Like, isn't Battlefront like that's like it seems like that was like the non-canon set. Like the whole game is non-canon. Like you're not really even playing like the Battle of Hoth and stuff. You're playing a similar kind of Battle of Hoth, but you're
Yeah,
not really playing the Battle of Hoth.
yeah. Well, and you also have to remember that for some reason, the Emperor is there on Hoth running around lightninging people.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. So I don't
I don't
quite.
know. It's weird. It seems like one of those things where they just kind of threw it out there as like oh, we don't want to give a real answer to why we're not doing this. So here's this one.
It sounds like it literally just sounds like Battlefront 2. Like they just need to
Yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
say you need to save stuff for Battlefront 2. I think
Yep.
that probably pisses off a lot of people, but I'd be okay with that answer.
Yep. I would too. Battlefront 1, we're focusing on original trilogy. Battlefront 2, we'll get into the new stuff,
Yeah.
or we'll get into the prequel trilogy. God help us all.
To be fair, those battles from the prequels would be fun to play as. Like it's not good movies, but those battles are pretty neat.
Yeah, there were a couple. I don't know if you probably didn't, but the Star Wars: The Clone Wars game is actually really good, and it just goes through all those battles you see in, I think it's episode 2 at the end, or maybe episode 3, whatever one they kill all the Jedi in.
Yeah. So I mean those will be kind of cool in the future,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yep. A couple other quick things here before we wrap this up. They announced a new Ghostbusters game, kind of.
Oh, I think it kind of
I
leaked.
guess
It
it
was
was
just
kind
like
of more of
a
a leak,
title
more of
and
like
a
a
yeah,
somebody slipped and said something they should have. Is almost the way it seemed like.
yeah.
Basically, they said the Ghostbusters game from 2011 or 12 did really well, and there's a new movie, so let's make a new game. It sounded to me like a movie tie-in, which, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Activision's kind of weird too, because sometimes Activision will leave. Well, I mean, if like they do dumb, crappy shovelware games, but sometimes they put like some like weird amount of effort behind games, like hiring Platinum to do all these.
yeah.
I don't think Ghostbusters is not going to be a Platinum game, but I
Oh,
think
that
that
would not
they
work well.
yeah, I think they probably could get like a secret small developer to make actually a pretty damn good Ghostbusters. And from what I understand, I played the other Ghostbusters. I'm not a fan of Ghostbusters, so I didn't really like the other Ghostbusters
Seriously,
game.
you're just like ruining everything today. I don't like
No, I'm not ruining it. I
Castlevania. I
just
don't
don't
like
like Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. You're just a horrible person right now.
No,
I
Ghostbusters is
don't think
okay. I
Final
just
Fantasy 15 is gonna be good. Just jeez,
okay. My point was I was going to say that it was a good game. It just wasn't for me.
because you
um,
hate Ghostbusters. Like
I
it's
don't
ridiculous.
hate Ghostbusters. I just don't think it's that good. I think it's okay. I think it's all right. All right.
All right,
Anyway,
fine.
I want to talk about the next news stuff more.
All right, so it's Pokemon's 20th anniversary.
hmm
I know nothing about any of this stuff because I'm not super big into Pokemon, but Doug was all excited about this, so go.
How can you not be okay? You played okay. I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I played Red and Blue. I went to Kmart. I couldn't find a copy of Yellow, and I haven't played Pokemon since.
I played Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Stadium, a couple other ones.
Oh, I also played Snap. I love Snap.
Whatever the Tetris game was. I used to love that damn Tetris game.
Yeah. Oh, that actually is a damn good game. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like Pokemon Puzzle League. I mean, it's nothing
Yeah,
to do
yep.
with Pokemon though.
It's Tetris, but it's great.
It is good. Uh, I like the Super Bowl commercial a lot. A lot of people seem to really hate the Super Bowl commercial. Not hate it, they
Me,
just don't like it.
me.
I love this commercial because I thought that this commercial kind of showed you the Pokemon world like that we had in our heads as a kid. Like this is what the Pokemon world looks like in our world. Like I just like when they show this stuff, it's like, oh, look at these Easter eggs in the background. Like, oh, you can see them advertising HM Surf and stuff like that. You can see them advertising milk from a certain Pokemon and things like that. It's like, no, you guys don't understand. Those aren't Easter eggs. Like they're trying to show you like this is what the Pokemon world would look like, and I really like that a lot. Like the that they I don't know. It's kind of like that weird version of Pokemon everybody has in their head, like where you have a Pokemon and like you're raised like at the end, like there's a dad and a kid sitting with like a Pikachu next to him. It's not like that is in that. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that.
I think you just described it multiple times.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. I don't know why people are crapping all over it. I don't know.
It just it was boring.
I guess.
It was just two people walking through a city, and if you paid close, like I didn't even catch like half that crap until like halfway through, and I went, "Oh, they're putting Pokemon stuff in the background. Okay, I get it. Oh, okay, now there's actual Pokemon. Oh, okay, I get it."
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I think people keep thinking that this is like, oh, it's just Easter eggs they're throwing in the background. It's like, no. This is the Pokemon world. Like I thought that was super cool.
I guess if you think about it that way, maybe, but
Yeah, and I can understand that. The next one, we're gonna talk. Detective Pikachu looks. This is gonna be really quick. I feel like a lot of people are talking about it, but it just looks so stupid. Like
it's Sherlock.
it's Sherlock. Like it is. It is. The music is almost like a straight rip from the British Sherlock show.
It feels very copyright infringement-y.
Yeah. And like, I mean, Pokemon and Pikachu is dressed as like he has the Sherlock hat and everything, and then you go around with like a kid and solve crimes or something. But then the Pikachu talks like in a normal human voice,
like in a very grown adult human voice.
Yeah.
A very deep human grown adult voice.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to like argue like sort of like the Meowth thing from the cartoons, where like Meowth can talk, so why can't a Pikachu talk? I was like, okay, I guess, but
it can say Pikachu.
Yeah, but that's like it's just breaking canon. It's ridiculous. Why is it Pikachu? Like, why is this Pikachu suddenly smart enough to solve crimes? Like, why? How come this Pikachu can?
So it's breaking canon from that game you played 20 years ago.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't really care too much, but it's just like it's really strange. It's like I think that this game is a lot. I don't think Nintendo realizes how weird this game is to people, like, and how little sense it makes. But it looks like it has like quite a big budget behind it too.
Or they understand completely how ridiculous this is and just went full bore on it, and thus the weird voice, and thus the hat, and
yeah. And I like that. I like that right now there actually is a fairly large, what do you call those? We talked about it before.
Petition?
Huh?
Petition?
Yeah, petition to get Danny DeVito to do the voice. I would love Danny DeVito to do the voice. I would actually also like the guy who does Bender's voice to maybe do it.
Oh, yeah.
Joe DiMaggio, I think, would be pretty good for that. I don't know.
There is a great job somebody did of taking Danny DeVito It's Always Sunny lines and putting it over Pikachu. If you have a second, go Google that because it's hilarious.
Yeah, but like it would fit for that weird ass game. Like I hope that like the English release of that is just like, okay, we're just gonna go full on board. Like this, we recognize this game is weird, so we're gonna just go really weird with it.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm mildly interested. I'm not gonna pick up a 3DS to play it.
But if you had one, you'd buy it.
Yeah, I guess you can't really rent games, can you? I don't know. Maybe it'd come in it'd probably be at my local library. If it was my local library, I'd probably pick it up just to play it.
You can rent 3DS games.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So I'd probably rent it. It looks just really dumb. It just looks so dumb.
Or it's gonna be the greatest thing ever. You never know. I feel like
Yeah,
Nintendo is the one company that can pull shit like that off. Just like, this is the dumbest concept ever, and it's gonna be the classic game to end all classic games.
Oh yeah, I mean like Splatoon. Like yeah, this could be a Splatoon where everybody's like, oh, Splatoon looks so dumb.
Or like Pokemon Snap, or
or all the other dumb sounding Nintendo games that are
Dr. Mario.
Awesome.
Like it's exactly what it's gonna end up being.
Yeah,
20 years from now, we're gonna be talking about the new Detective Pikachu 7, Pikachu and Mewtwo's epic adventure. That
would be amazing. And like Mewtwo would be his Watson. See, exactly, God dang it, that does sound kind of fun. I don't know. But I think they're just not gonna have enough fun with it. I think they're gonna try to play it straight, and it's just gonna sound dumb.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of those things you gotta fully embrace how weird it is.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this episode. Episode like 40. We've done a bunch of these.
Yeah, we're coming up on our year anniversary. Yay. Which we should be near like 45 if we're supposed to be doing these out like week by week, but
hey, we're a little slow.
Yeah.
But yeah. So thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at darksliders_pod. You can subscribe to us on whatever you may be seeing or hearing this on right now.
Hmm.
And yeah, thanks for listening. See you later.
Bye.